Today is Ash Wednesday, which marks the beginning of the season of Lent. Its message is more needed today than ever. For the Colson Center, I'm John Stonestreet. This is Breakpoint. Lent is a 40-day period of time set aside in the church calendar to reflect and to prepare. In a sense, the season of Lent is to Easter what the season of Advent is to Christmas. But it's even more countercultural at this moment, where if one's not careful, Easter just comes and goes before we even notice. For most Christians, all that's left of this season of Lent is the idea of giving up something. The original idea of disciplining the body, repenting of sin, preparing to remember Jesus' passion and death, and celebrate his resurrection, that's all been whittled down to an annual Christian weight loss plan. But the loss of Lent is far greater than one of mere tradition. See, implied in the disciplines of Lent, both fasting from something and embracing some new habit of life and godliness, is the inherent connection between body and soul. The seasonal significance of this begins on Ash Wednesday, when ashes are imposed by clergy on the forehead in the shape of a cross, along with these words, "Remember you are dust, and to dust you shall return." The ashes remind us that we are not less than physical beings, made from the dust of the earth, and therefore mortal. We will one day die, all of which is easily forgotten in a society like ours, which suffers from a kind of split personality. On one hand, there's tremendous emphasis placed on physical appearance and meeting physical desire. We idolize sex. We obsess over diet and how our bodies look. We rearrange the entire world to guard our physical health. At the same time, we deny that our bodies have any final say about who we really are, demanding instead biological workarounds to accommodate whatever it is that we want. All of this is just the latest incarnation of an ancient heresy. Gnosticism arose at roughly the same time as Christianity. Its name comes from the Greek word gnosis, which means knowledge or to know. Gnostics believed that through the acquisition of secret knowledge, one could escape the confines of the physical world. According to a Gnostic cosmology, the invisible and immaterial is superior to the physical. Thus, the soul or the spirit is superior to the body. At best, the body is irrelevant. Worse, the body is a hindrance to the spirit and thus to salvation. So, some Gnostics would give themselves over to hedonistic expressions of drinking, gluttony, sexual abandon, since the body could not really affect the spirit. Others turned to strict asceticism, rejecting sex, wine, meat, and other foods, denying the body altogether in order to strengthen the spirit. Some even went as far to starve themselves to death. Gnosticism as a formal religion largely died out by the end of the 3rd century AD. Gnostic ideas, however, continue to show up in both conservative and progressive Christianity. Some Christians on the more conservative side confuse the Bible's condemnations of the world and the flesh as a rejection of the physical world and the significance of our bodies. This shows up in forms of false pietism, which in the words of Paul's letter to the Colossians are of no value in stopping the indulgence of the flesh. On the other hand, many progressive Christians embrace new cultural orthodoxies and deny that our bodies have meaning. Rejecting the natural purposes of God's good created design, they deny sexual difference, that our reproductive systems are designed for reproduction. They deny the good of children, the permanence of marriage, the morality that best protects sexual relationships, and all kinds of other ordered goods of the human body. In particular, transgenderism is an explicit neo-Gnostic rejection of human bodies, arguing as if the body is irrelevant to our identity. Instead, who we really are is determined by some non-observable, non-objective, non-empirical secret knowledge known only to ourselves, but to which everyone else and reality itself must adapt. Ash Wednesday and Lent directly challenge this Gnostic way of thinking, reminding us that our bodies and souls are inseparable, that we are more, but not less, than physical beings, and that God's creation was indeed good. We will one day die, a fact of life that so many in our culture perpetually try to distract themselves from. And we are corrupted by sin, and we're in need of mercy and forgiveness. So whether or not you receive the imposition of ashes today or participate in a Lenten fast, don't let Easter sneak up on you just yet. Remember your dust. Remember the significance of the body. Remember its union with our spirits. And use this knowledge to draw near to God, who took on human flesh, in order to die and rise again, so that we might, in our bodies, rise with him. For the Colson Center, I'm John Stonestreet with Breakpoint.